Today, we're going to talk about something really important. We're looking at how governments have, by law, separated people based on their race. We'll explore two of the most well-known systems in recent history and, the incredible movements that fought to tear them down.
Okay, let's just jump right in. I want you to really look at this picture. What does it mean to live in a world where a sign like this isn't just some person's nasty opinion, but it's the actual law, where something as simple as getting a drink of water is controlled by race? This wasn't a hypothetical. This was real life for millions of people.
And you have to understand, these kinds of divisions were not accidents. They didn't just happen. No, they were meticulously planned, written into law, and enforced by the state, all designed for one purpose: to separate people. What's wild is that on opposite sides of the ocean, two very, very similar systems were growing at the same time. Segregation in the United States and apartheid in South Africa. Yeah, they had different names, different local details, but their core mission, it was exactly the same: racial division baked right into the law. So in the US, it was called segregation. This was a whole legal framework, especially strong in the South, that forced Black Americans to be separate from whites. And we're not just talking about water fountains. It seeped into every corner of life. Meanwhile, in South Africa, the system was called apartheid. That's an Afrikaans word, and it literally means apartness. I mean, the name says it all, right? It was an even more rigid, more brutal system of racial separation that controlled that country for almost 50 years. Okay, so we've got these official terms: segregation and apartheid. But what did that actually mean for people just trying to live their lives every day? What was the real human cost of all this? Yeah, we're back to this image because it just says so much. See, it was never just about being separate. It was always about being unequal. Every single day, in 1,000 tiny ways, these systems were built to hammer home a message of who was supposedly better and who was supposedly less than. And the level of control was just staggering. I mean, think about it. Separate schools, but the schools for Black children were almost always underfunded, limiting your future from the very start. Separate buses, hospitals, neighborhoods, the whole deal. It meant you had way less access to good jobs. And here's the kicker: your political rights, like voting, were severely limited. So the one peaceful way you could try to change things was taken away. It was a constant, daily grind of discrimination. So, when the law itself is the problem, when the entire system is designed to hold you down, what do? What choices do you really have?
Well, you fight back, you organize, you resist, you protest. The rise of resistance wasn't just some random reaction. It was the only logical, powerful answer to an unjust system.
And a protest, when you boil it all down, is pretty simple. It's just a refusal to accept what's unacceptable. It's what people do when all the normal channels for justice are slammed shut in their face. It's an action, a statement that says, "We will be heard." And this is what it looked like. This is that resistance in action. People pouring into the streets. They organized marches, boycotts, sit-ins. They built these incredible movements, not just at home but around the world, asking for solidarity to help them end these awful systems. They were literally fighting for their freedom. So what was the end game? What was it all for? Well, it was about more than just getting rid of a few bad laws. The real goal was something bigger, something deeper. The goal was equity. And this is such a critical idea. The goal wasn't just equality, treating everyone the same from now on. It was equity. Equity recognizes that after generations of being held back, you can't just say, okay, the race is fair now, go. True fairness means you have to account for those disadvantages to make sure everyone actually has a real equal shot at success. It's all about trying to level a playing field that was deliberately tilted for centuries. Now, these historic struggles completely reshaped their societies for the better. But the fight for real fairness, it didn't just stop when those specific laws came off the books. It just changed. And that kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. What does that fight for equity look like today?